Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, Julie. Glad to have you in here a little bit more about like your journey. We've been working together for years now. I believe we
Mhm.
started in late 2018. So a long time coming. And if you could give a little bit of a like a backstory of where you were back then, um, what were you doing health and fitness wise, just gonna kind of open the floor and let you kind of explain your journey a little bit.
Sure. So I know I feel like we've been working together forever.
Yeah.
Starting in probably 2018. Back then, I was having lots of issues with my back. I just wasn't feeling my best. I was feeling sluggish, and I knew I wanted to do something, but didn't really know what to do. And that's when we first started working together. And then, unfortunately for me, like I didn't put a big priority on that, and we had a break. Right. So I think it was
Hmm.
probably right before COVID, which maybe would have caused a break anyhow. Um, but then I was preparing for a surgery, and I knew that I'd have a lot easier recovery if I was able to strengthen my core and kind of brought fitness and my own health back to the forefront as I was getting ready. So that's when we started back out together. And I believe
Hmm.
that was in late 2020 or early 21.
Yeah.
And at the time, like I couldn't do it myself. I thought I'll try it myself. I'll watch some online videos, but I just didn't feel confident going into the gym and using the equipment. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what to do. I thought that I was
Mhm.
going to do the wrong thing and hurt myself. And it really just kind of felt frustrating trying it on my own. I knew that I wanted to be healthier, but I didn't really know what to do and how I could prepare myself for an easier recovery. So that's when we started working together again.
Awesome, awesome. No, I love hearing like when you first started because it has been a little while and you've come so far from that initial from that initial start point. Uh and I think the biggest highlight is, life just kind of happened and
Mhm.
you had to deal with what you had to deal with and then you came back because the just knowing there's is something so empowering about coming in like into the gym, exercising and feeling confident
Mhm.
in your movement and in your body and knowing what you're doing is going to be helping and not necessarily like, you know, hurt like maybe you're not making progress or like hurting your progress, you know what I mean? So I think that's probably like one of the biggest takeaways there.
Yeah, I agree. And I think when I didn't really know what I was doing on my own, I wouldn't do anything. Right. So that's not going to help me. And I knew I needed something better. And one of the things I like about working with you is I have kind of a disconnect from how I'm moving my body and how I should be moving
Mhm.
my body. So yeah, on my own, that really wasn't working. Mirrors really wasn't working, but you figured out how I learn and what cues would work for me. Then I could kind of remember what we did. So if I worked with you one day and then I went by myself, I kind of remembered the cues that you gave me and I was able to do things on my own and feel better doing them.
Yeah, I love that. And when you first started, it was, just us, one day a week working on things. Then it slowly just progressed over time, right? And now you're in the gym 2 days extra outside of like when we work together, doing your own thing. And your movement when I'm with you looks really good. And it sounds like you're making really good progress on your own. And it sounds like you are confident going around the gym, which I think is in kind of one of those things that might not get talked about a lot. It's one of those things that we think of when we first start. It can be intimidating when
Mhm.
you're going in there and you're doing your own thing. So again, highlighting that confidence that you have, I think is just so awesome. Would you say what if you kind of had to nail it down, what do you think is like a main takeaway on like the fitness? What do you think is something you thought about before and now your mindset on that has maybe been flipped or changed a little bit?
Yeah, I think before, especially before we started working, it just felt like this is going to be another hard chore, like something to cross off the list. And it would always
Mhm.
get pushed back. And even though I knew I should do something, I wasn't. But now the whole thing I think of differently, right? So part of it is like seeing that I'm stronger, seeing I'm more flexible, I'm not getting
Yeah.
hurt as much. And I'm thinking of it not like a chore, but kind of like this is what I'm doing for the future Julie, right? So I'm doing this now and I'm going to stay healthy so that as I grow older and things go on, like I'll be thankful for the time I spent. So the way I look at it is completely different.
Yeah, I love that. And even like, even in the now, in the shorter term, right? Do you feel some of the all that time that you've invested in yourself, do you feel that in the like your day to day? Like, obviously we hope that these things that we're doing end up living a higher quality life as we grow older. But in the now, right now, what are some things that you can do that might have gave you pause before?
There's so much. It's hard to say. I mean,
Oh, dude.
I was get hurt quite a bit. I would throw my back out quite a bit. And that's just not happening anymore. So it's hard for me to pinpoint
Yeah.
exactly what we did. If it's the flexibility, if it's the strength, if it's a
Yeah.
combination. But now, even when I go, it's like a stress relief, right? It's a part of the day that I look forward to, and I like the feeling after. I'm sleeping better now. Not just from the gym, but also thinking about the nutrition things that you taught me. All of that's kind of coming together, and I just feel better overall, more energy.
Yeah, you mentioned the nutrition part. What are some things on the nutrition side of things that maybe you were doing beforehand that now again like that the script has been flipped a little bit and that you've changed kind of what you're doing in your day to day? What's that look like for you?
I think that part of it was we had lots of talks, of course, even just while we're working out, talking,
Yeah.
realizing some things that might trigger me. And like, I am a big sweets person. And we came up with ways of other things I could do. Like, obviously, if I have candy in the kitchen and something stressful's happening and I'm working, it's easy just to grab it and run. But what if instead I had strawberries that were cut up and I grabbed those? I'm still getting the sweet, but it's something that's good for me. And I think also really think of food, it's not, we don't want those in the moments, right? We really want to be eating to make ourselves healthy and like considering what we're eating, and how it's going to make me feel after. And I think that we talked about that too with like caffeine, that second coffee, but then how do you
Ah,
feel?
yeah.
And cutting that out of my life has made a huge difference.
Yeah. I love that, especially as someone who enjoys his caffeine as well. It's definitely one of those things that just kind of gets it's easy to get caught up in it, especially when that like, that 2, 3 p.m. hits and like you just need that little extra to kind of get you through the day. It's hard for that first week or two, but then afterwards, after you kind of get out of that rhythm, you break that cycle, it's like, oh wow, uh, I feel like I don't really need it now. And then like
Yeah.
it just, you know, you wake up a little bit better the next day and it's just like it's a positive feedback loop. It's just you just feel a little bit better each time. And you
Mhm.
mentioned earlier too about like improving your sleep. So it's not just like one thing, especially like again, we've been working together for years now. It's definitely not like one simple thing that you've done. It's all these little things that you've been just chipping away at each week, just trying to improve a little bit. And now it's showing just like it's so drastic the changes. And it's all those little things that you've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think my doctor noticed a change, right? My physical therapist noticed a change. So it's not just, for me, it's not so much about like how my body looks, all that's important. It's really about being healthier. And that's something that we're able to accomplish. So that's huge to me.
Yeah. I love that. You know, that's one of those things too, like going to like your medical doctor. And that's one of those things that a lot of people can sometimes dread because they know like they're gonna go in there and it's like, you know, depending on the doctor, maybe they don't have like good bedside manner. Maybe they know like, oh, like they're gonna bring up this thing again. So, it feels good going there and knowing like, okay, all that hard work I've been doing, all that time and effort I've been investing in myself, it's paying off. And like the doctor's like, wow, you're looking good. You're
Yeah.
feeling good. Your markers are looking good. That's just that reassurance of like, all those little things you've been doing. I love
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
If someone's like on the edge, so like imagine you know, those years ago before you started, like 3, 4 months before you started, someone's like on the edge, they're not sure, is now the right time? What would you say to that person?
I mean, really, I would say now is the best time because your health's important and it's not something you want to wait on. It's so easy to kick this can down the road, but you're only hurting yourself. I think I remember being like before nervous, like I'm not going to know how to do the moves. I'm not going to know what I'm doing. I'm going to look weird. I don't know. But you made it really easy to learn. And one of the things I noticed is that you changed, like you adjusted how we work together to fit my style. And really, it just helped me be more confident in the gym, but also in life, I think. So I have less
Love that, Julie.
injuries. I feel better. Yeah. So I would say just do it. There's no point in waiting.
I love that. That's amazing. Thank you. Like, Thank you for the kind words. I think, tell a little bit of your story and how far you've come. I think probably will help someone out there who might be on the fence, who's not sure if now's the right time that to invest in themselves, and maybe they do want to kick that can down the road. So thank you so much, Julie, for like coming on here, giving your time, and sharing your story.
Yeah, of course. And literally, if you're watching this and thinking about doing it, just do it. You're going to feel so much better.
Love that, Julie. Thank you.